Hey everybody, welcome back live at Drew's House Joppa Afternoon Drive. Hope you're all doing well as August is off and running. That's scaring me a little bit because I like the summer and it goes quickly. Anyway, you've heard enough of me saying that the last few shows. My guest today, one of my best friends in the radio business, does the traffic on the threes every 10 minutes, seemingly all day long on WBC News Radio. But Lori Grande's in the house. How are you, Lori?
Yay, I'm wonderful, and I'm thrilled to be here with you.
This is great. We finally get to do this in person. We had you on the show once during COVID.
Yes, and I was totally drunk.
Oh, you were? Yeah. yes, about half the guests that come on, yeah.
Well, wait, was it 10:30? Then I was drunk. No,
Yeah.
but no, this is so nice to be here.
It's great.
It's like we're really on the air.
Yeah,
You know?
it's real.
This is a beautiful studio. You have a beautiful studio.
It's very kind of you to say. Did you got to meet the team? I see.
Yes, I met Maeve and I met the others, and she gave me some candy, which was nice.
Well, yeah, not everybody gets candy, so.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
I feel pretty good about that. Thank you.
Yeah. Did you go with the Jolly Rancher? What's in there?
It was the Werther's Original.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
It's. I mean, I think that's the candy of old people.
Is it? Yeah. You know what I think? Actually, what was the one my grandmother used to always have the peppermint.
The ribbon candy?
No, not the ribbon. They were good. Oh no, she used to have mint Milanos. I remember that.
Oh,
those were good. But the York peppermint patties.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I just had one of those. Like the other
Did
day.
you really?
Yeah.
All right.
So-
I used to, when I was really young, I used to eat those things, and I got caught once because I would just kind of like hide the wrappers in the couch.
Yeah.
So one day she was cleaning and said, "Andrew, do you have something to say for yourself?" I was in trouble when I was called Andrew.
Why is my couch so crinkly sounding?
Well, who was putting the York peppermint patty wrappings in the couch? That would be me. But funny memory. Anyway, how are you?
I'm doing great, and it was really nice to even just be driving here because I saw all the banners out for Yankee Homecoming.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That was an exciting time.
You know what? I was just telling Maeve. I was telling Maeve that my husband actually won an award for the bed race before. He did it was most creative bed.
Oh, nice.
That's what it was, yeah.
Cool, yeah. You have ties all around here. You're from Haverhill.
Yes, yeah. Well,
And,
I'm from Lowell, actually.
oh, Lowell,
originally.
okay.
Yeah, but
Gotcha.
I lived in Stoneham for years, and then I got married, and I moved to Haverhill, yeah.
All right. So you like the Newburyport.
I love the Newburyport. I do.
It's a great little walking city.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's
yeah.
perfect, especially in the summertime. Every time of year, but I like the summer.
Yeah.
You like the summer?
Are you kidding me? This is
Yeah.
like my favorite time of the year.
I know.
Is today August 2nd?
Yeah.
This is the anniversary of my first wedding.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
How about that?
I was wondering if you would send me something. No.
No, okay. Well, it's early in the day. You never know. That's very funny.
That doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. I actually don't know when the show actually plays because we kind of do it differently. But if it's, whenever it plays, if people can relate to that. Well, that's interesting. Well, these dates that stick with you. How'd the morning go? You worked today?
It went great,
Yeah.
although I got up a little late this morning, but
People were crashing all over the road when I drove in.
you know what, Drew? It happens every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And you know how much of even if you just get into a minor little, paper swap or whatever,
Yeah.
it's still a pain in the butt.
A paper
And
swap? Is that what you said?
That's what they call it, paper swap, when you just show each other your insurance.
Oh,
and
a
stuff
paper.
like that.
I get it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, that's
Yeah.
in the biz.
I don't
Rob.
crash very often, so.
No. If you crash more often, you'd know.
Yeah.
So, but mostly, even if you get into a little collision or whatever,
Yeah.
it's going to be a pain in the neck because you got to get the car fixed, or you have to make sure that person has your insurance, or it's just, and also you really impede all the people behind you. You cause everybody to be in a backup behind you. But these things happen every day, and bad crashes happen every day. And you know what else is weird to me? People roll over every day. I've never rolled my vehicle.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm missing out on something.
Well, yeah. You got to be in a hurry to roll it, don't you?
I'm telling you, it happens every day.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it is astounding. So you just have to say, I have to think it is distracted driving. I really do. I have to think that people are still, even though they're not supposed to text, they're looking down. Because if you look down for a second, they say like you go like a football field.
Yeah. It is true.
Excuse me.
I know. People, I see it all the time. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been guilty of it before, too. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Admittedly.
Yeah, I mean, if I have to get something at the store and I need my husband to get those are not important things. Yes,
those aren't the important things we're talking about. Yeah, no, it is. It's the nature of the all the technology now too that they try to make it easier.
Yeah,
and
but still, you have that big screen in front of you, right? I mean, I have this, even to look down to just change the heat, I'm over in the next lane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just that's what causes those crashes.
She drives in very early. There's nobody else on the road.
Exactly. So luckily for me, yeah. I know.
You have that way, though, for people that don't listen to WBZ. Poor job by you. But for people that don't know, you have a very, I mean, some things are serious and you're not always funny, but you tend to be very funny on the air, which is, you make me laugh 2.5 times a day, I say.
Well, then my work here is done.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I really
I know
care
you
about.
go for that, though. You think you know that you're trying to make traffic fun in the...
Well, it is very much a list.
Yeah.
You're just giving people a list. And if you're sitting in your car, I figure people are in their cars and they're thinking, why am I in this backup? Really, that's what they want to know. Why am I in this backup? But that's only one road they're on. And yet I have to mention all of the roads as much as I can. And if I don't, people will call and tell me, you know, what you forget about us on the upper end of 128 or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you try to mention as much as you can in that short amount of time.
You forgot about us in Holyoke?
Exactly. We are here too.
Yeah.
And we're in a backup. So, so people want to know what the backup is. And I think it helps, at least if you know, it's a crash and it's a mile ahead of me. Okay, I know I'm going to get around it. It's going to be okay. But I figure might as well have a good time with it if I'm not talking about a serious crash or something like that, and I'm just giving you the delays. Why not have a little fun with it? You know? So.
And if I remember correctly, you told me you actually have a comedian career or past career or past life. What was it?
I did. It was my afterlife. No, it was actually. I did do some stand up, and it was fun. But I think that I'm probably better behind a mic than in front of a crowd. But a lot of the work in my career has been on stage because I've had to introduce people and stuff like that. And luckily, I think that what happens is when I get nervous, I say ridiculous things. So that's probably when the best stuff comes out.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were probably great on stage because I can't imagine anything. Let's see, hot air balloons. I'm scared of those. Yeah, I don't like that.
Even just seeing them.
I've had nightmares about that, just floating around in the sky.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll never get on one. I can fly on a plane.
Oh, okay.
And I can be okay. I don't love it. I'm not one of those people that loves to fly. But you put me on a jet airliner, I know it's a statistically safe way to get around. I'm good.
Right.
I can get through that, but I don't love it. But I will never jump out of a plane.
Yeah.
And
No.
I'll never go in a hot air balloon. That just seems you're just floating up there.
I know. Anything could happen. I know. And now that you're saying that, I'm scared to death.
Doesn't that one seem like sneaky bad, the hot air balloon?
Yes, it
People
does.
think it's relaxing.
No,
I
but
don't.
you have nothing. What's really keeping you up there?
You're in a basket. You know?
I know.
I think. I've never been on one, but it seems like a basket.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good. Now I'm thinking that's a good fear to have.
Yeah.
Used to be like I was claustrophobic, but now I'm afraid of balloons.
Yeah.
All balloons in general.
You know a funny story on that? I was in Marco Island as a kid, Florida.
I've gone to Marco Island.
No kidding.
Just last year.
Wow. My family used to go all the time. My parents really liked it there.
It's a beautiful area. The beaches go on for miles and miles.
Gorgeous. Great sunsets. But there was a parasailing. My parents really wanted me to parasail with my sister.
Yeah.
Because they thought she was young. Go comfort your sister. You're 3 years older. I'm like 10 or whatever. I don't want to parasail.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. She can go by herself if she wants to parasail, which she did, and she had fun. All that stuff. But I didn't think it did. I didn't like the idea of it. Didn't seem safe. And I know that parasailing is mostly safe. 1 week later, right when we got home, I saw on the news that a parasail had snapped, and the person a kid was hovering around all the buildings in Florida.
Oh my God.
Like all the hotels, yeah. They pulled him in from a roof deck hotel.
Yeah.
Can you believe that? I said, ha! Told you.
I told you.
See?
You probably went and clipped that. So you
I
could show
didn't
it to your
clip
parents.
anything. It's
You know what?
ridiculous.
But you know that's extreme, what you just said. But
Yeah.
I did go parasailing in the Bahamas.
You did?
I
You're a risk taker, you.
my whole thing was Hail Mary, full of grace, Lord is with thee. Blessed. That's I did. I just held on and prayed, and then it became fun.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say. So you enjoyed it. You held on and prayed.
Yeah.
Eventually, you liked it.
Yes, exactly.
Is it peaceful? I've heard it's peaceful.
It was beautiful. It was really nice and everything. It was, the harness is a little something you don't want to wear all the time. But,
Yeah. I'm thinking I'm missing out on some of that stuff, but I just don't like it's so much anxiety. I don't even want to think about it.
You know, there are so many things to do in life
Right.
that you enjoy.
Yes.
So why put those things in there that you don't? I always did think that I wanted to jump out of a plane. I mean, just because that seems like, oh, that's the ultimate, right? Or go hang gliding or whatever. But now I'm like, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm settled in life that I'm not going to do that.
Might I suggest a Springsteen show? Like,
Yeah.
I find those to be riveting.
Yes,
you know?
exactly.
That's what I would rather
Let me
do.
ask you this question,
Sure.
if I may.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone to a show, and because I know you go to a lot of shows.
I do.
And like the vibe was not good. Like I only bring it up because I had gone to a U2 show at what was Sullivan Stadium. So
Yep.
this is like a while ago, but it was just like people were like little fights are breaking out all over the place, and
So this is like 80s U2.
yeah, and they were fantastic, but the whole vibe of the place.
Yeah.
I said to my boyfriend at the time, like, we got to get out of here, and I'm glad that we did. It was just like something was like going on that night that wasn't quite right or whatever. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's the only time I ever really felt that. But
It does happen. Yeah, it just changes everything. I always tell people, like, I'm lucky enough to go to a lot of shows, but it's like I never like put so much emphasis on one show that it's like, this will be the best show ever. Because you just roll with it. You never know.
Yeah.
It might be a good one. You might not like the set list. You might not like there's a million things that can go wrong. So just kind of like go in and roll with it. But what was the one I didn't, right before COVID, the last show I saw before COVID, band called the Avett Brothers. You ever heard of them?
yeah, no.
So that kind of no, they're pretty big right now, but they're like everything about them I should like. It's kind of my genre. They're kind of low key, long haired hipster guys. They're like whatever. Everybody's like you'll like them. And for some reason I saw them in Worcester, and I was just like this. It's just weird in here. Like I don't know why, but it was like very. I don't know. It got weird. I remember they were releasing some songs that were kind of like had real. I don't want to get into like the religion thing, but they had like some religious overtones to it, and like I felt like there was a real movement in our section, like that was really behind those in kind of an aggressive way, and it was kind of like, ooh, kind of got a little too spiritual for me in there, you know, and that turned into a really weird vibe for me. That's when you ask about weird vibes, that's the one that most recently jumps out to me, but not so much the fighting thing, but just yeah. And
The best thing is when you go and you don't have any expectations, and then it turns out to be wonderful.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had that happen to Paolo Nutini. I was the only one there who didn't know every song, and he blew. Probably the best show I've seen all year.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know,
he does that show, that song, which he didn't play, by the way. The only song I knew, like on a commercial, he didn't even play. New shoes on and suddenly everything's right. That's him. And he didn't play it. He teased it and moved on.
What?
Yeah, which I kind of respect.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
I just saw a good show.
Sure.
It was just the best. Okay, so we went to the beach last week, me and my whole family.
Ooh, which beach?
We went to Salisbury. Okay, so we grew up like Hampton, so white trash heaven. And
Do you have to buy the parking ticket?
we didn't have to buy the parking ticket because we stayed in a big house right on the beach.
Oh.
So it was like, it was my father, it was my brothers, it was my nieces and their kids, it was my husband, my sister and her husband. It was all of us. It was so fantastic. It was such a great week. But my father and I one night decided to go to the Seashell and at Hampton to see the bands. You know, so the band was Love Sexy.
Okay, I've heard of it.
It's a Prince cover band.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yep.
And they look like Prince and the whole thing. And then they have all these women out there who dance. Like they just go to every show and they just dance. It was the best show because I had no expectations. I'm like, come on. I mean, what's this going to be like? And yet, he did all, Red Corvette and all the big Prince hits. But these women dancing, there was so much joy. It was just like they were just literally jumping up and down with joy. I mean, they were so happy. So anyway, that was the most fun show I've seen lately.
Yeah, I hear the Prince frontman in that is very good.
Yes, and sounds just like him.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. Yeah, it is cool. He's always the one guy I say. I had a chance to go see Prince at the Garden, and I jetted up to Maine just because I didn't want to, what was the deal? I didn't want to deal with like the traffic the next day or whatever, but I got up to Maine. My whole family was there. I chose family over Prince, and I never got another chance to see Prince, and I always regret choosing my family over Prince.
I hope you remind them of that.
Yes, I do. I tell that story. You always remember. And then I made up for that because I did very same situation, Friday night concert, chance to go up to Maine. I stayed back and saw Tom Petty for the last time at the Garden, and that ended up being his last Boston show.
Well, see, in that case, that was perfect.
So people die when I go to Maine.
Oh my God.
So apparently, but no.
Don't go while I'm with you.
I miss Tom Petty though. I got a great photo of him.
Did you
looking
really?
right like at us, and like with the great Boston crowd in the background. It's like the last photo of
Isn't
Petty.
that great?
Yeah.
Was that shortly before he died?
He died like a couple weeks later. It was that tour, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, legit the last Boston show and like one of his handful of final shows.
That's amazing.
I know. I post it a lot, and it always gets a lot of love on Twitter. I'll tell you when I post it next time.
You know, I lived in Minneapolis for 3 years, and I lived right down the street from where Paisley Park was.
Wow.
You know, and it was a huge, but I wasn't into Prince at all then.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, well, I can't.
Yeah, I had to grow into him. I wasn't into him in like high school or anything. I didn't know like any Prince. Like it just, it wasn't being played at where the circles I was in. And then but when I found it, I was like, wow. And then you watch the videos of him and you're like, look at this guy. He's the best entertainer I've ever seen.
Yes.
That's actually a Springsteen story too. Bruce gets called one of the best live entertainers, but he says he went to go see Prince as not a friend, as like a jealous, trying to see what the competition was out there. And he walked out of the place and goes, "Oh boy, I got work to do."
He said that?
Bruce said that, yeah, which I think made them great friends later, because I think that was his introduction when they finally met. Was I was blown away at that whatever club you were in back in the day.
Yeah.
So yeah,
cool.
That's a good. I have a lot of useless Springsteen knowledge because I like to read his books and stuff.
It's not useless. No.
Yeah.
It's
right.
Little known and cared about facts.
Right. Exactly. You actually got to meet. Actually, I should have told the crew out there. I feel like that group would love it. You and Taylor Swift are like good friends. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I met her when she was 16, I believe, and at this point, every year when I worked for the country station, every year I would go to Nashville and I would do all the
what station was that?
It was Country 102.5.
Right. Okay.
And so I would go to Nashville every year and I would do all the interviews for the CMA prior to the CMA Awards. And what it was is you would sit in I'm sure you've been in the situation before, you sit in a big room, a big giant room, and they bring all these different stations from all over the country are there, and then they bring all the artists around. Well, that's when I got to meet Taylor for the first time. And at that time, her hair was just like, it's just perfectly straight, and she's very coiffed now, and
sure.
But it was just wild and crazy, like frizzy and long and just great. And she was so relaxed and fun, and I have a picture of her like with her arms slung around me, and she was just a kid. She was a kid excited to be there, excited to be in the room with all these other artists and stuff like that. Yeah. So then, fast forward, years ahead, I'm interviewing her again, and she's in this. She looked like a blonde Audrey Hepburn. I mean, her hair was in up in a bun. She's in this beautiful dress, and she seemed very, very poised and not at all that girl anymore.
Different,
and it was almost like sad. It was almost sad.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just growing up. That's all. She was just growing up. And she also had been like sort of burned, as far as people saying stuff about her.
Yeah.
And so now she had this more of a facade in front of her, which I totally get.
Guarded thing.
Yeah, more guarded, more, and it was just like, I'm so glad I got to see her when she was young.
Yeah.
Young. That's her favorite food. But she was, I did get to introduce my nieces when they were, my twin nieces were like, say, 8 or so when they met her at a show at Gillette.
Yep.
And so my niece goes in, little niece, and she takes a bracelet off that she had made for, it's friendship bracelets are a big thing with Taylor. And so she takes it off, and immediately Taylor puts it right on. And now, of course, I'm sure she didn't wear it on stage, but the fact that she did that, my niece never forgot that. The nieces are 22 now, you know what I mean? Like, but it was pretty incredible. And that was the show at Gillette Stadium where it was pouring rain, and she was just continuing the show because that's what she does.
Yeah.
And her whole thing, what I love, and I've been around a lot of different artists, and I have to say, a lot of the parking lot situations are just like drunken fests. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And some of
Yeah.
them even miss coming into the show because they're not going in, or just rough. But not with Taylor Swift shows. I mean, what are they doing out there? Making friendship bracelets for each other. I mean,
Yeah.
in general, I'm sure there's some people who go and get drunk, but in general, it's just a nice positive thing,
Right.
So
Yeah, no, I agree. She still has. I mean, you're probably right with the guarded, but I do get the impression that she at least comes off genuine with the fans.
She is, yes, yeah. She's especially with fans. I'd say more with fans than with media and stuff.
Yeah, probably true. Yeah, her crew. Did you see that story today?
Yes,
$100,000 bonuses.
I heard that on WBC.
Yeah, they do a great job, that station. Yeah.
But the thing is that I was really surprised about that because I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't think that happens with
I don't
other
either.
artists.
And I mean, imagine she has a massive team.
Yeah.
I was told there'd be no math involved, but I don't know what she's. I mean, I think it's probably partially. I think she was probably, like a lot of artists, a little bit embarrassed about the ticket prices with the whole Ticketmaster dynamic pricing and all
Yeah.
that. And she handled that incredibly well too.
Yes, she did. But she came to bat for fans.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, who does that?
Yeah.
I mean, she's big enough that she can.
Yeah. And probably led to some changes. I mean,
Yeah.
it went to Congress because I think a large part because of her.
Yeah.
Granted, Pearl Jam's like, yeah, we did that 30 years ago too, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, Lori Grande joining us here live at Drew's House, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Maeve Power running the show today. Thank you, Maeve,
Thanks,
as
Maeve.
always. She's great, isn't she?
She's lovely.
She really
She's
is.
lovely.
She's still fairly new to our show. She's been working here for a while, but she took over this show not too long ago. And,
Cool.
And I can be very difficult.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
No, I was just saying to Maeve, like how you are just, you produce, you pick the music, you're on air, you're. I mean, and I really do think that you are just such a total natural. You know what I mean? Like as far as when you're in there with Jeff and you're doing your stories and stuff like
Who?
that. Sally. No, but when you're in there, it's like totally comfort. The comfort level is
Yes.
there. You know what I mean? I think that when people, one time when I was first starting in the business, I had a friend of mine, and I would say to her, "Did you listen to me on the radio?" And she broke me because she said, I was afraid you would make a mistake.
Oh.
Because I was still new. I still make mistakes every day. But
Yeah.
The thing is that there is a comfort level you want to feel when you're a listener. And that's what I hear with you guys is
Yeah.
that level of, even if you do make a mistake, it's not going to matter. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever, but not that you do. But
Oh, we do.
no, but it's such a good, I mean, I hate to say this to you, but Jeff would hate for me to say this to you.
Jeff Brown, by the way, the
Jeff Brown.
fabulous anchor at WBC.
So talented. He just thinks the world of you. I mean, like he just, as I'll say,
he's gonna hate that. Yeah.
He would hate that. Pretend you didn't hear that. But I talk about the music, whatever. He's like, that's all Drew. That's all Drew. How fun is it for you to pick music?
It is fun. It's funny because it's when we first. I mean, you remember the olden days at that station. It was not. You really wasn't like that. And
No.
And I was just. There was a big. I remember I was the kid there for a while, so it was like they weren't really hiring young. I remember there was a big debate whether I was too young to work there. People told me that after I was hired. And so I remember trying things just to test the waters, and a lot of times it didn't go over well. And music did not go over well.
Okay.
I was straight up told no a couple times.
Yeah.
I just kind of kept doing it a couple times, just seeing how annoying I could be. And eventually, I got the okay, and then new bosses came in and said, I know the old bosses said no. I'm saying yes.
Yeah.
Go for it. And the old bosses didn't say no. It was just,
frowned upon. Yeah.
or pick your spots.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was a shift. You know. So, but it was something we were trying. And even the bosses I most recently had, some liked it, some didn't. Like this is even currently probably.
Yeah.
But it's just I think you get feedback, and even if it's not for you, people are relating to it in some way. So
And it adds.
Yes.
It adds.
And I think we do it. And Jeff does a good job with not everybody can deal with that.
No, I think that the thing that he can do that many people can't do is he can hit the post.
He can hit the post, yes.
And because of that, that talent, it all works together.
We call him the postmaster.
No,
Yes.
do you?
Yeah, we do.
Oh God Almighty!
Somebody else came up with that, not me.
Yeah.
But yeah, he loves it. He likes a lot of the songs too, so he actually kind of gets into it. So he feels it. He has a good feel too. Sometimes I won't give him good instructions on the song.
Okay.
And he'll just I could like feel it and pull it up, and I'll go, good feel.
Yeah, a good feel.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so-
That's even if he doesn't know the
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's big. I mean, that's cool.
I know. So yeah,
Could
because
I
I picked
ask-
some random stuff. Let me tell you.
But it was so strange. There was a story that was done this morning that
Uh-oh.
no, it was like the words in the song were absolutely perfect, and but like obscure. Like it was really.
Was it Missed Connection by Head in the Heart on the lottery story?
What did the words say?
I don't know. Missed Connection. I know.
Yeah. No, but it was just. But I just find it amazing sometimes that there are songs that are exactly perfect for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I consume a lot of music, so I'm always, I actually think about it, like on my own time.
Could you put in a little bit of like?
Oh yeah, we'll take
Bruno
requests.
Mars.
Sure.
Yeah, I would love that.
We got a lot of Bruno already in the
Yeah.
in the thing.
Yeah, there's some songs that you play like that are like meant like for this certain type of story, and then
Yeah.
you play and it'll be like, yeah, there it is, you know. So
Yep. And that actually a lot of them too were some people that actually come in here and blow me away. I'll put on because they're local and good.
yeah,
You know, I remember my most recent boss didn't love that about me. What was that song? Keep it on the charts, please. And I would say, you know, I'm doing it for a reason. That person is from, and you know,
yeah.
and they're gonna be huge. Trust me.
Yeah.
He doesn't always trust me, but sometimes I get yelled. I get yelled at a lot.
No, you don't.
Yeah. No, I do.
You do?
Yeah, definitely.
Even now?
Yeah.
Well, you
Not
know
like
why?
seriously.
I think that's probably because you have so much control
Yes.
that you are the person to yell at.
Yeah.
So as long as you can take that.
Yeah. I always say, but Rob was your boss too for a
Yeah.
while. Rob Sanchez, who I have nothing but kind words to say.
Yeah.
But he would, he always said, he goes, you know, I always fight for you behind the scenes, but when I'm angry, you will be the one to hear about it.
Yeah.
So that's the nature of the job.
Could I tell you that Rob said one of the nicest compliments to me like ever in my life?
Oh, what'd he say?
He said to me, okay, so I met Rob. Rob and Bill Flaherty came over to,
Yep.
you know, where I am, the traffic. And I met Rob for the first time. And Rob said, I have to get it right, okay? Something like, it would be my career high or whatever if people would talk about me behind my back the way they talk about you. And that was like the best
That's
thing
awesome.
ever, right?
Yeah, that is a good one.
Because you never know what people say behind your back, and the fact that he
Right.
said that was like, it was glowing. I mean, obviously, I still remember it. It was quite
Yeah.
some time ago. Yeah.
No, he had a good heart. He has left us now,
I
so that's
know,
why
yeah.
he's not dead. I'm just saying
Yeah.
he's moved on to another job just this summer actually. But yeah, he did a great job. He put me on the air.
Well, see, he put me on the air in my spot
Yeah.
there. I mean, so it was thanks to
He
him.
put us together on the air.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Isn't that nice?
That's lovely.
Aw.
Yeah, he actually told me because I remember he was hard on me too, about like, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't.
Were you ever on the air before?
Not there. No.
Really?
Yep. Not at the big time WBZ. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd done other things, but not there. And I was like, I knew I was a good writer. Like I thought my delivery was pretty good, and I just kept missing it a little bit on his air. And he's just like, I'm trying to picture it. I think you're close, but maybe not there yet. And finally he goes, let's give it a shot. And he goes, you have continued to prove me wrong. Like, and I remember him saying that. He's like, just keep proving me wrong. It's just you got the genuine thing. And although he gave me good advice along the way too,
Yeah.
because there were I don't know if you ever did this, but like I did play with my voice a lot. Like I would try to. Like I'm just talking now, like
Yeah.
I normally do. But for my radio news voice, I would be like, okay, I probably have to be a little bit deeper, stronger, whatever it was. I tried a million things to get it right, and I realized the trick for me. I think everybody probably has their different tricks, but for me, it's just be yourself and just keep your energy level up. That was the
yes.
thing for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And the
Yeah.
energy level is big, especially in the morning.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Coffee.
Yeah. Coffee is, as far as it's a little cup of personality.
Yes,
That's what I
that's
consider it.
nice.
But I always used to think that I didn't have a good voice because I just thought of, it's just a normal voice, just a regular voice.
Yeah.
And but you have these women who have these like glorious like dulcet tones and I used to think, well, maybe I won't sound good, but I'll be right.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
And I did in the beginning still have the accent, the Boston accent. So
Yeah.
I have a recording of me saying, "Hi, this is Laurie in the Lanes. I'll keep you street smart and road wise."
That's awesome. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I actually don't catch your Boston accent, but
I've tried to kill it. I mean, I've tried to. get
you've
it
gone
out
out
of
of your way to kill the Boston accent.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever really. I mean, there's certain things that like slip in, but I never had like the hard one.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I had
then-
more of a my mother had like an accent that was almost like English. She'd say quarter till and a
Oh.
half past.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go take a bath.
Yes, exactly. I do know that. It's good. Yeah. What is the? Is there a traffic story over the years that you have? I don't know. You're like, this is just bizarre living in here right now. Like, what you're
Well-
watching it happen, and you're like, how am I going to explain this on the air?
You know, it's funny. I was thinking of the stories that come to mind as far as like outside of traffic are, 9/11, the Boston Marathon bombing. Like these things that it is beyond the realm of your like understanding in life that this is actually happening and stuff. But as far as traffic goes. It was really weird. My first traffic job. Okay, so I went to UMass Lowell. Okay.
Yep.
So I was going to school. I was working at LLH, which I don't believe is there anymore, but I was working at WLLH in the morning, and I was doing traffic in a van, driving around in a van, and then in the afternoon. So then I would go to classes at UMass Lowell.
Is that like a road report? Like what?
Yeah, road report. I would just drive
okay.
around and do, I'd say,
Couldn't afford a helicopter. I get it.
Yeah, but then in the afternoon, I would go to my classes, and then in the afternoon, I would drive to Tumac Airport in Tewksbury, which is also no longer there, and I would fly, in a Cessna, and I would have maybe 4 reports an hour, and so the guy said, well, why don't I teach you to fly? So I have 50 hours towards my pilot's license.
Is that right?
Yeah, so I was learning to fly while I was up there, and then after that. I would go to the J.D. East restaurant in Tewksbury, and then I would waitress all night till. I mean, I was completely like flat out. But when you have a passion,
Yeah.
you'll do anything. I worked 7 days a week. You know what I mean? And so, but the thing is that there was a person in Boston who hired me to come and do traffic on WBZ when they started to do 24-hour traffic.
Yep.
So I was on with like David Brudnoy at night
yeah.
and Bob Raleigh and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So then I added that in. So now I'm working overnight. Then I'm doing the traffic in the morning. Then I'm going to class. Then I'm doing the traffic in the afternoon. Then I'm waitressing. Then I'm doing. There was like little cat naps.
Oh, wow.
Until I eventually did not wake up in the morning, and they were going to me on the air. I guess I had went and got the van. I said, I'm just going to go home to my apartment for a minute and lay down for a minute. And then they kept calling and calling. They called the police. They didn't know where I was or anything like that.
Oh, no.
And yeah. And so my boss said, well, either you have to give up that job in Boston or, you can't stay here anymore. And so I ended up staying there. But eventually that guy hired me back. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's the happy story.
Man, I mean that does happen to everybody on that shift. It's
Yeah.
bound to, right?
Yeah.
The hours are crazy. The sleeping schedules are crazy. I know mine is.
But I'm just lucky, and you're lucky too, to have a passion.
Yes.
Was music your passion? Or
Yeah,
journalism your passion?
I think music probably. I did like they did combine, but I remember in college I did like a music show.
Yeah,
Music
yeah.
radio show.
Yeah.
So yeah, that
There's
was.
nothing like seeing somebody like perform in front of you, like like intimately, like right in front of you.
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just amazing. Yeah,
It is. I remember we had a one of my I went to Bryant, and we had a really good. Not every school has like really great.
Yeah.
Radio setups. We did. We had it was very nice, brand new, and it also was not just the carrier car, and it actually went out to the world. I mean, not the strongest signal in the world, but if you were sitting in your living room in Smithfield, Rhode Island, you could hear us, and probably a little bit into Providence. And I remember not everybody actually got that memo, and that was one of the first radio lessons you learn. Is I had a few buddies who were horsing around one night, probably, I think they were drinking on the air openly and said a few things they should not have said, and the next day the program manager came in and said, you will not be seeing this person and this person anymore, and let me just tell you, there is one rule in radio: there is always somebody listening. Never forget that.
Yes,
And
yes,
you're on at 1 a.m, and
you don't
college
think-
life, you're not thinking sometimes, but
yeah.
so that would, I still remember that one, I guess. But
It's a good lesson.
Yeah.
However, what's weird is that we are behind the mic, and so you have to imagine the people listening. I have to think about people in their cars.
Yes. Yep.
I have to think about it, and because it is kind of a weird thing in that you're broadcasting to thousands, Brazilians, whatever, and then but you really are just alone in your room, or you're just talking to somebody on the air in the morning, and you're just like, it's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah. I've said that story before. Like, people ask, do you get nervous? And, mostly no. But you do have like the performance thing where it's like, you're on for that, whatever, 50 seconds. And then I've said like, sometimes you're in there and you think to yourself, like, you try to like psych yourself out. Just your brain plays tricks on you. Like, oh, don't screw up. All of New England's counting on you, like, I know it's just you and Jeff, but,
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have that? You get those voices in your head?
Yeah, sometimes. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Don't mess it up, Laurie. Come on. Your dad's listening.
Exactly.
But it's funny because some people tell me that they don't even drive, but they still listen because they enjoy the traffic, which was what I wanted to do, is have it be enjoyable for people even if they're not in their cars, because it's just kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like you want to be there for all the major traffic stories, but at the same time, it's if you're not involved in traffic, you don't really care about it. You know what I mean? It's just a little time period you don't care about.
And you mentioned the Jeff Brown and my relationship.
Yes.
You two have that as well.
Yes, I love Jeff. I mean, I do. I've worked with him forever. For 3,000 years we've been together.
Yeah.
And
he was a traffic boss back in the day, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. And we used to do it from the top of the Prue. And
traffic was in the top of the Prue?
Yeah, that's where we did.
Like the traffic center?
That was the traffic center. Was in the top
I didn't
of the
know
Prue.
that.
And so
I guess maybe I'd heard
we
that.
were at the Skywalk, so we would go around with binoculars. So basically, we couldn't see too much outside of that area, like Fenway.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we could see Storrow Drive.
Yeah.
You could just see some things, but that's how it started. And then you had people call in, and then you would call the state police, and that's all you would do to get your reports done. But so Jeff and I would work together. We worked together, I think, from 9 until 1, he and I. And there wasn't a heck of a lot going on during the middle of the day. And so we would call it, we would play catch back and forth. There was no, I'm sorry, I hate to say this, it's going to make me sound 3,000 years old, but there was no internet at that time. It was, so there was computers, but anyway, we just played Pong all day. No.
Yeah.
But we played ball all day, and we just called it the 6-hour game of catch with intermittent traffic reports.
Yes.
That's what it was, yes. But I've always enjoyed his sense of humor, and
That is an interesting, I've had a unique radio go being, off air and then on air and then kind of both. That's a real interesting one, doing the management and then on air. That's a different kind of course.
Yes, yeah. I didn't listen to him.
Yeah, I still don't listen to him.
He's really just a lamb in sheep's clothing. Wait a minute.
I hope he stays forever though, because he's
super talented.
It is. I don't want to. You've worked with people that are in those spots, and he's got the perfect demeanor.
He does.
I mean, he is serious about his job. That obviously comes across, but he keeps everybody light. It's never feels like life and death in there.
No, and that's why I like your little things that you put on, like that you do. I love to see him, and he's like, my shirt. What do you think about
that? Was a good Rob thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's a good Rob. Rob would tell me if he didn't like things, and he goes, I don't know if I like those things. I'm not sure. And I said, okay, well, you're my boss. I mean, I can stop doing them if you'd like. He goes, no, don't stop. It seems like people like them.
Well, what's interesting is there's so many new things that you have to keep up with the times. You really do.
Yeah.
You have to maintain that serious, spot where we're telling you the news, we're telling you the truth, we're telling you what we know and everything. But at the same time, you have to know that all ages are listening,
right,
and that you can't turn off huge groups. But it's just like, for instance, I was at a party recently, and I said, I do the traffic on WBZ in the morning. They said, wait, is that Matt Shearer's station?
Yeah.
Because they see him on TikTok.
Exactly.
So, but the good thing is because of that, seeing him, they'll listen to the station to hear his reports and stuff, which is great,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's. I actually think about that when we're slotting the news too, because I remember when I was a kid and my parents would listen, I remember thinking I just didn't want to hear about. I mean, a murder is important sometimes, but some of those details, you got to do it in kind of a way that you can kind of weave in and out and do the news, but then do the show too. So I'm always thinking of that young Drew, of how I didn't want to hear about the guy that got into the fight with his whatever, and then it didn't end well. I didn't want to really hear that story. So if you can find a way to get it in and not make it the focal point, but maybe Taylor Swift at Gillette is the focal point,
right,
and that's they're doing Taylor Swift at the beginning of the news. That's cool.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe that grabs kids. So.
Right. It's the tone too. The tone of like Jeff has a good tone because it's like it's like half comedian.
Yeah.
Half. I told him, I said, like, even though he is reporting the news, it is a performance.
Yes.
It is because, there's certain ways that you have to read certain stories and get into different things, but he still has that light side that he shows his personality.
Yes, he does.
He definitely does.
What did he do the other day? He makes me laugh too. He did something the other day where he said, Miranda Lambert. Did you meet her?
I did meet her, yeah.
How was she with you?
Yeah, she was fine.
She was good? Yeah.
It was like more of just an interview type of thing or whatever.
Well, remember that one where she got angry at the crowd for doing the selfies?
Yes, yes.
So Jeff's reading the line that she said, these people are just doing it. And then at the end he goes, wow, wow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Because that's what everybody's thinking.
It is.
That's exactly.
That's a good way of saying it. I think he says a lot what everybody's thinking, except when he's not. And then I just say, nobody was thinking that, Jeff. Why did you say that?
We talked about is at the beginning of COVID.
Yeah.
It was a very scary thing for all of us. We didn't know what the heck was going on, and just like they closed the casino. And I was just all the things that they kept closing, right. Because they didn't. I was like, why are they doing this? But because they didn't want people to gather together. But Jeff had a big job. I mean, because he has a big job on a daily basis, but at the beginning of COVID, even more so because it was such an unprecedented thing, and but he had this tone, and he said to me that his daughter's friend said to him that you're scaring me. Yeah. And he actually changed his tone a little bit.
Oh, is that right? He never told me that. That's interesting.
Don't tell him I said that.
No. We've talked far too much about him in general, but yeah.
But
that's funny.
He just all he did is just make it a little slightly less scary, what I mean, but still very important. Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I bet he would. That's an actual serious learning story there, so that's why he didn't tell me.
Yeah.
It would be uncomfortable for the two of us. It's just feel like him
please
opening
never
up a little bit.
Yes.
No, that makes a lot of sense actually. He came out to me one day during COVID. There was very few people in there. It was like Jeff. One day it was just me, Jeff, and the master control guy. Wow. I don't know if that was Chris Bennett at the time. I should shout him out. He does a great job. But you have to work with him a little bit. It's unbelievable.
Great job.
That is the job in radio where if you're just pressing the buttons and you're only ever recognized or given. The only time anybody knows about you is if something goes wrong, and then it's like a referee or something. It's the best analogy I can come up with. But he's just so reliable. But I think maybe he had gone to the bathroom or something. So Jeff walks out of the studio and says to me, "Drew, it strikes me at one of the biggest and most prestigious news stations in the country, it is you and I for Morning Drive."
Yeah, right.
And it was weird. We looked around and said, "This is COVID."
Yeah, I know.
We got through it.
Yeah, I just was talking to somebody about that, and then I heard the story this morning. But I was just saying, I was thinking at the time, we're never going to get out of this. I did think at the time, I'm like, I don't know if we'll ever recover from this, or this is just going to be with us our whole life, whatever. So I'm so happy that we are where we are. I'm so happy. But
what you just hinted at was that they're talking about a potential surge again, right? So I think I even said on the air, makes you cringe a little bit. But I don't think we ever go back to what we just did. I think
because there was no vaccine at the time. Yeah, that's the scary thing. I mean, because I'm sure that when the flu came through for the first time, I mean, everybody died because they didn't have any, way to get rid of it. So, but we're in a much different place now. But yeah, I did hear that story this morning. Yeah, I know. It's it's still a serious thing, obviously, but it's just I think we know a lot more. And like you said, vaccines. So actually, I learned a story during COVID. You ever been to the Cabot in Beverly, the theater there? Yes. Yeah. You know how it's kind of the big old school. Yeah. So I guess that place was built after the flu of 1918. Yeah. And they built it because they wanted to get people back into the movie theaters because this is come on, we're going to get back out into the world, back into places. So that was their way of post-COVID, get back out there. And so that's why they built up the big movie theater, and it was kind of like the biggest movie theater around at the time, or that was the place to go. So yeah, that's cool. That was the whole deal. Yeah, I learned that during COVID. So yeah, I know. I'm just so happy that we are where because you were home for a lot of that, right? Good times. Horrible times. Just wake terrible. Up, go a room over. Yes, I mean I didn't get out of my pajamas for 5 days. Yeah. You know what I mean? No, it was just I have to say, this is like personal thing, but I almost became a little bit agoraphobic because
Yeah.
it was like I was so used to being home that to leave home was becoming a little bit more like, like if you go to work, you do some errands on the way home, you go stop at a couple of stores or whatever. But I wasn't going out at all. You know what I mean? And it was just like, it became more of a thing to go out again, So I was so happy that we got back to work. I was so glad. Yeah.
It feels good now. I was always going in, so
you were, and you and Jeff,
It was a good thing because I'm not good. If you put me in anywhere, I can't be trapped. Feeling of trapped, I have to run away.
Yeah.
Hot air balloon. Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of airborne, Kristen Eck, who you work with, is just fantastic.
Yes,
I know you
wonderful
guys are
person.
good friends too. We could name drop everybody you've ever worked with, but you're a great team on there. Send it up to the sky.
Yeah.
Never miss a beat.
No, she's fantastic, and I love when I don't love when there's a big accident, but I love when there is a big thing going on.
Yeah.
To have her be able to go, and have me be able to throw it to her, knowing that she's seeing it exactly at that moment, and she's describing it so well. To me, that's when it's the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if you're listening in your car, you know that you're getting it exactly right. It's exactly what's going on there. And she's so funny, too. I mean, she's very, very funny.
Yep.
And she throws her sense of humor, which I love, her little dry sense of humor in there.
Yeah.
And, I feel really lucky to have her.
We keep talking about the humor thing. Now that you talk about our morning team, maybe that's the secret sauce. We're all hilarious.
To ourselves.
Yes.
I mean.
Everybody's like, can you believe they think they're funny?
I know. Shut up.
Actually, this is your first time in studio, so usually we'll end. If you're first time on the show, we usually have to do a quick rapid fire to end the show.
Oh.
But it's technically kind of your first time, so we're gonna
I do a rapid fire. I
you
like
ready?
That.
Quick answers. Okay. Final couple minutes again with Lori Grande here. She's been great. This has been fun having her in studio this time. Favorite food?
Pizza.
Good choice. Favorite musician?
Oh, it's gonna. Okay.
Wow, that one hurt.
That is a tough one. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Jeepers Crow. I'm gonna go with Lionel Richie.
That's a great choice.
Thank you.
Favorite movie?
Oh Lord, Jeepers Crow. Okay, let's see. Let's think for a second. I did like Steel Magnolias.
Yep, that's good. That's fine. I always tell this story. This poor girl. I have to stop this. Maeve, remind me we're going to stop. I'm going to stop going down this road every time. There was a girl, high school girl on the show before. Team. She played a team sport. Sorry, I forget your name. See, I won't embarrass you with your name. She lied to me about the movie.
Oh.
She said she was laughing as we moved on to the next person's favorite movie. And I go, why are you laughing? She goes, I don't know. I've never seen that movie. And you told me it was your favorite.
Pressure.
Yeah, why would you lie to me? She goes, I don't know what happened.
It's right. It's like a game show.
She was like a sophomore too. She came back on years later.
Yeah.
And I go, you were the girl that lied to me. So it was funny. We had a fun moment with it. Let's see, where do we leave off? Favorite city in the world?
Oh wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh jeepers. Okay. See.
Tough one.
Yeah.
How about favorite? What's your toughest greater Boston city to pronounce? Is there you get any tough ones there? Or are you so used to it now?
Well, I'm much better now. I mean, but it's just.
Some of them are crazy.
I did do traffic in Minneapolis too, and so there was a lot of stuff there, and God forbid you mispronounce there.
Yep.
And they have a completely different accent, which is so cool. It's it's like for dumb, or they're just. But no, I would mess up things there all the time. But I just want to say that my favorite city is Lowell.
Lowell, okay.
Because I grew up there, and I was born there, and my parents were born there, and then it changed so drastically for the better because it was really bad for a while, really bad.
Yeah.
And then, but it's gotten so much better. So and the school, UMass Lowell is just like
they're doing
over.
So many good things there.
Yes.
Festivals,
Lowell Film Festival.
Yeah.
My gosh,
not even that. They got there's other ones too. The Town and the City festivals there in the wintertime. And a lot of people trying to do good things.
Yeah. So I will say that because
there's truly a lot to like about Lowell.
Oh, Oh, thank you. That's so nice.
Thank you. Yes.
By the way,
as the mayor.
You were speaking of the movies for a second. Have you seen either Oppenheimer or Barbie?
No.
I'm going to see both of them.
Oh, you're going
back
to see
to
both of them.
back.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Today?
I haven't seen them yet, but I'm hoping tomorrow I'll go.
Okay.
I'm
Do you have plans?
I don't have any plans, but I was going online, like I was
Yeah.
going to go to the Loop in Methuen there, and I like all sold out. All sold out on the weekends. I mean, like everybody loves it. So I'm excited though that there were things to bring people back to the theater.
Yes.
You know, and
I'm terrible with movies too, by the way.
you don't go.
No, I definitely don't go. But even like, I like them. It's a time thing.
It's
like,
a time thing. It does take a lot of time.
I do have a lot going on, and the commitment to sit down for.
2 hours or whatever.
Is that what they are now?
Yeah.
Just kidding. But no, I do need to be better about movies. End with a couple of music ones. Favorite venue in the world? You got like a favorite stadium or club or something? Or?
Yes. Okay. I can do. I like the Hard Rock Cafe.
Okay.
I love the smaller venues so much better.
Me too.
I've done
Like Gillette Stadium. That's your favorite.
A lot
yeah.
of. Oh yeah. It was rough. I'll tell you
Yeah.
something. Even to try to get down to introduce on the stage, you know what I mean? Like it was really like, it was very difficult to get through the crowd and everything to get to the stage. And so, it's really nice to be in a small venue.
All right, and final two. We'll see. This one should be easy. What's the nicest person you ever met in music?
Oh.
Is it Taylor? 16-year-old Taylor?
16-year-old Taylor, my favorite girl.
She's the one?
She's the one.
Did I force your answer? Or?
Yeah, totally. But that's fine. I
Who's your
couldn't think of
second?
anything.
Who else is nice?
Well, I love, let's see. There's so many wonderful people. I love Little Big Town. I love them all. I just love them all.
Is there anybody can you tell me if anybody like was not nice? It's a nice way to end the show.
Miranda Lambert.
Miranda? Really? Oh my goodness, that was true?
Yeah. I didn't say, but
She has that kind of way, huh?
you know what? She might have just been like tired or whatever like that. But most of them that come through, they're really
Apparently
great
she
and
has
stuff.
bad days. Best, here we'll end with a good one. Best career advice. We got a lot of youngsters, middle schoolers, high schoolers thinking about what they want to do with their lives. What's the best career advice you ever got?
Say yes.
Yeah.
Accept every opportunity. Work. I know a lot of people like don't want to work overnights. They don't want to work weekends or whatever. If that's your passion, do it. Do it. Work those crazy hours and stuff like that. Just keep saying yes.
Yeah, just don't forget to sleep.
That's right. Exactly. That's a good thing too. What's sleep?
Yeah, I'm looking like this.
Yeah.
Lori Grande, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to sit down. This was fun, right?
Yeah, I love you.
I love you too. You do such a good job.
Right back at
I
you
hope our team
sometime.
stays together forever.
Okay.
Next 50 years at WBC. Maeve, thank you. Maeve Power on the show.
Thank you, Maeve.
She's fantastic, as you know. And we keep trucking on through August. Everybody have a fun summer out there. Enjoy the day, everybody. Live at Drew's house. Joppa Afternoon Drive. Peace.